KURINJI Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
Free bus for LKG to 8th standard.
Free, hygienic and nutritious food.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
KURINJI Education Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
Students, now in this video, so we are discussing regarding tissue systems. So tissue systems, so in previous video we so based on the position, shape and function, tissue systems we have been divided into three types. So there first one is epidermal tissue system and ground tissue system, and third one is vascular tissue system. It is there that side, we will see later. Right, now tissue systems, so our knowledge point of view divided into three types: epidermal tissue system, ground tissue system, and one more is vascular tissue system. In previous video some more information I have given regarding epidermal tissue system. So there later continuation. So some more information I have given in previous video. Now in this video continuation of epidermal tissue system, try to watch. So there in previous video continuation is the stomata. Stomata regulate the process of transpiration and exchange of gases. So here we have seen, what is the point we have seen? Suppose if you take epidermal cells, so on the epidermal cells a few specialized cells are there. These specialized cells we will be calling as stomata, and this particular stomata helps in so what is the main important process? Definitely that regulates the process of transpiration and exchange of gases. So transpiration process point of view and the exchange of gases point of view, these 2 points. So one is transpiration means loss of water, or the evaporation of water, simply the evaporation of water through the stomata. Our subject point of view we will be calling as a transpiration. Later next one not only helps in the process of transpiration and also helps in the exchange of gases. Next one, each stoma. So here I have written stomata, here I have written as stoma. Enna difference? This is singular number. Each means a singular number, singular varandana. That's why here instead of writing of stomata, if I write a stomata plural out, so that's why I have written like this. Each stoma is composed of two bean shaped cells known as God cells. This kind of phenomenon means here the bean shaped structures or the bean shaped God cells where we can observe means the bean shaped God cells we will observe in dicots. Dicots, angiosperms, our knowledge point of view we have been divided into two types, dicots and monocots. So in a dicotyledonous plants, so God cells, specialized structures, God cells we will be calling these God cells shape is bean shaped. Beans we know very well now, so bean shaped or kidney shaped. So kidney and bean shaped both will be same only, and how many are there? Two bean shaped specialized cells we will be calling as God cells, which are present in each stoma. So definitely these God cells which enclose the stomatal pore. God cells are there, bean shaped, rendu pakkathal definitely I will give you my explanation regarding that one. One rough diagram also I will explain, okay, no worry. So two bean shaped cells are there. These bean shaped cells we will be calling as God cells. So these bean shaped cells we will be calling as God cells, and which enclose the stomatal pore. Now here once you see that, so here the bean shaped cells are there, no? So these bean shaped cells only we will be calling as, or we will be taking as God cells. இப்போ பாருங்களா, இப்போ you see that these like a bean shaped God cells which enclose the stomatal pore. இப்போ பாருங்கம்மா, ஸோ டயக்ராம் பாருங்க. இப்போ டயக்ராம் இது ரெண்டுமே bean shaped cells அம்மா, specialized cells. Our subject point of view, these bean shaped cells we are calling as God cells. No, இப்போ பாருங்க, these God cells enclose அப்படின்னா covers which one stomatal pore. இப்போ பாருங்க, exactly at spotlight உள்ளே space is there, no? This particular space, amma one more time see there. இங்கே exactly at spotlight உள்ளே empty space is there, no? This particular empty space only our subject point of view we are calling as stomatal pore. இப்போ பாருங்க, if you take each stomata or stoma, two bean shaped cells are there, two cells are there. These two bean shaped cells we will be calling as God cells which enclose which one? Stomatal pore. அப்படினா உள்ளே which one is there? Stomatal pore is there. Next one, in grasses point of view, in grasses the God cells are dumbbell shaped. So இப்போ பாருங்களா, in dicotyledon plants, no, God cells shape we have been taken as bean shaped. Whereas in grasses means comes under monocotyledons, no, we have seen in previous videos also. So these grasses, in grasses, no, God cells shape is dumbbell shaped. Dumbbell shaped means suppose boys ke theriyum, suppose those who are going for like a gym and all, no, or definitely we will be observing dumbbell shaped. Once here the rough diagram also I have drawn, you can watch here the dumbbell shaped means here as plus one boys and girls, what you have to remember, no, like a specialized cells are there in stoma. These specialized cells we will be calling as God cells. In dicotyledons, no, God cells shape is a bean shape, whereas in grasses or monocotyledons like God cells shape is dumbbell shape. Amma idu rendu important neat bits amma. In dicotyledons, God cells shape is a bean shape, whereas in grasses God cells shape is dumbbell shaped. So try to save in your mind. Next one, the outer walls of the God cells are thin and the inner walls towards the stomatal pore are highly thickened. Once you see there, so here what is happening? So what is going to be happening means, so here what is happening means, once you see that the outer walls means here if you take this one as one God cells, no, outer walls are thin and inner walls towards the stomatal pore. This stomatal pore then ulle empty space towards the stomatal pore God cells walls are highly thickened. That's why here with white chalk piece here I have marked, I have drawn it as a high thickened. So ulle towards the inside or towards the stomatal pore God cells walls are highly thickened when compared to the outer wall of the God cells. This particular point also important, so related to the NEET examination. Outer walls of the God cells are thin, outside. In the outside of the God cells are thin and inner walls towards the stomatal pore are highly thickened. This is white chalk piece. To denote this one very clearly, I have thickened this one. Try to understand clearly. Okay, right. Next one, God cells possess. 1 minute, let me explain. Sir, why sir this kind of differentiation means? Inner walls are highly thickened and outer walls are thin. No, outer walls are thin and inner walls are highly thickened. Why this kind of differentiation means? So here this kind of differentiation helps in opening and closing of stomata. So when due to this kind of differentiation in a thickening of cell walls, no, so definitely helps in opening and closing of stomata. So this particular point also try to save in your mind. Next one, the God cells possess chloroplast. I said no already in a previous video also, this point I have covered. So what is the point? Epidermal cells, if you take there, no, epidermal cells not possess which one chloroplasts means a simple English point of view. So chloroplasts are absent in epidermal cells, but chloroplasts like cell organelles are present in guard cells. These guard cells also present in epidermis only, no? So thereby what is the point? If you take epidermis, within the epidermis we can see the specialized cells known as guard cells. Now guard cells consist of chloroplast but not epidermal cells. This particular point also try to save in your mind. Okay, so when this particular chloroplast present in the guard cells, what is the use? Because of the presence of chloroplast, definitely guard cells performs the process of photosynthesis. So that particular point we can say, and regulate the opening and closing of stomata. So definitely because of the presence of chloroplast, food materials will be prepared within the cells now. So thereby, so chemical concentration will be increased. Chemical is nothing but food materials, organic compounds. So these food materials, glucose or the starch will be there automatically. Glucose or starch means chemistry point of view, chemical only, so the chemical substances will be increased. So when chemical substances increased in the guard cells, definitely regulate the opening and closing of stomata. Opening and closing of stomata. Next one, sometimes a few epidermal cells in the vicinity of the guard cells. What is the meaning of this one? Vicinity, very close, pakatali. Okay, so means sometimes a few epidermal cells in the vicinity of the guard cells. The guard cells pakatali, which one we can find out? No, specialized cells in their shape and size are known as subsidiary cells. So means, so just beside to that, a few epidermal cells are there. Means to whom beside? Towards the guard cells. Means here the guard cells pakadali. So here somewhat specialized parenchymatous cells are there. These specialized parenchymatous cells we will be taking as subsidiary cells. Subsidiary cells. One more time you try to say subsidiary cells which are very close to the guard cells. Close only. Our subject point of view we are calling as vicinity. Very close to the guard cells. So such kind of specialized epidermal cells, our subject point of view we will be calling as subsidiary cells. Next one, the stomatal apparatus. Stomatal apparatus, guard cells and the surrounding subsidiary cells all are together known as which one? Like stomatal apparatus. One more time, stomatal aperture. One more time you see there, stomatal aperture. Stomatal aperture meaning hole. Stomatal pore we see no. Stomatal aperture here. Stomatal pore we see no. Adi. Next one, rendu guard cells are there no. Adi. Next one, which one? Subsidiary cells. Subsidiary cells means here we have seen specialized cells. Mele, guard cells mele. Subsidiary cells all together we will be calling as stomatal apparatus. Suppose once close your eyes and try to say stomatal apparatus is nothing but the combination of three different types. Which one is stomatal pore. Stomatal pore or the stomatal apparatus. Next one guard cells and one more is subsidiary cells. We put these three components together we will be calling as stomatal apparatus. My dear students, sir, where we can see the presence of subsidiary cells, you may get one doubt. These are subsidiary cells which are once you see there, here I am drawing with my light. Once you see there, here it will be like this. Means above the or outer side of the guard cells. So likewise here few epidermal cells we can observe. So now the subsidiary cells, guard cells and stomatal pore all together we will be calling as stomatal apparatus. Stomatal apparatus. So this is a diagram related to the dumbbell shaped cells in grasses. So that information also we have seen. Next one, the cells of epidermis. The cells of epidermis bear a number of hairs. So here hair like structures are there. Now suppose if you take epidermis, a number of hairs are there in root hairs. In root hairs, the unicellular elongations of the epidermal cells and helps in absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Means if you take on the epidermis, means epidermal cells, if you take there, no, these epidermal cells consist of hair-like structures. Hair-like structures. For example, if you take roots, in roots, no, definitely outermost protecting layer epidermis only, no. That outermost protecting layer in roots, no, consist of root hairs. Root hairs, once you try to remember, in regions of root, zone of meristematic, zone of elongation and zone of maturation. Likewise, in morphology of flowering plants, one important explanation we learn, no, there presence of unicellular root hairs we have seen in in matured region or zone of maturation there, unicellular root hairs are there, origin is exogenous. Likewise, one important information we see, no, so that information only here also just covering. So means the unicellular root hairs are there. These unicellular root hair elongations which are coming from the epidermal cells and helps in absorption of water and minerals from the soil. So means thereby what is the point here we can save in our mind? Unicellular root hairs are there, and the origin is exogenous origin. Exogenous origin and the unicellular root hairs are there. These unicellular root hairs helps in absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Next one, on the stem. Up to here information regarding root hairs means here hair like structures which are present in the root. So here in the stem we are discussing. So on the stem, no, epidermal hairs only. Epidermal hairs only we will be calling as trichome. My dear students, so here what is the point we have to understand, no? Suppose here any kind of hair like structures which are present in the root, no, so such kind of structures we will be calling as root hairs. Hair like structures which are present in the root we will be calling as root hair, and hair like structures which are present on the stem we will be not calling as stem hairs, we are calling as trichomes. Try to save this point also in your mind. Now on the stem hair like structures we will be calling as a trichome, on the root hair like structures we will be calling as root hairs. Okay, now come on to the here. Next one, the trichomes in the stem system are usually multicellular. So here I told you root hairs definitely are unicellular. We learned. Unicellular means how many cells are there? Only one cell is present. Unicellular we see. Now here you see there in a trichome. Trichomes means these kind of structures which are present in the stem. No, so these are all multicellular. Multicellular means more than one cell. Likewise, so more than one cell is present at the time. That kind of state we will be taking as multicellular. Next one, they may be, which one? These trichomes only, they may be branched or unbranched. So NEET examination point of view, all these points are important to try to save. These are all may be branched or unbranched, and one more point, soft or stiff. So soft or stiff. Then what is the use of this one, sir? Means so they may be or they may even be secretory. So secretes some kind of secretory things. And one more, so trichome helps in preventing water loss due to the transpiration. So definitely this particular trichome helps in reducing the rate of transpiration. Reduce the rate of transpiration. So this particular point also try to say. Trichomes which helps in preventing of loss of water, due to the process of transpiration. And one more, that is secretion. So means it secretes some kind of secretions. So these 2 points, secretions, and one more is so prevents the water loss due to the process of transpiration. So these two functions we can be taken under trichome. So this is a small information regarding tissue system. Next one, ground tissue system. Second tissue system is nothing but ground tissue system. So here what are the main important points to be discussed? Means all the tissues except epidermis and vascular vascular bundles. One more time you see there, ground tissue system is nothing but எல்லாமே all tissues we can be considered, but exception is there. Epidermis cells, இப்போ outermost protecting layer is there, no, adi and ulle vascular bundles are there, no, adema we see no presence of xylem and phloem, we see no together we will be calling as vascular bundles, no. Appadena epidermis cells and vascular cells rendume will not be there in the ground tissue system, and all tissues are present, means all tissues except these two, one is epidermis and one more is vascular bundles, constitute the ground tissue system. So means sorry, all tissues means what are those, sir, means, so I will give you, so that side. Now here consist of or this particular ground tissue system is made up of it is made up of simple tissues. Simple tissues means our knowledge point of view we have seen, no, parenchyma, cholenchyma, sclerenchyma, in previous videos we seen, no. So those tissue systems, definitely this particular ground tissue system is made up of cholenchyma or like a parenchyma or sclerenchyma. So any kind of tissue definitely helps in formation of ground tissue system. Next one, parenchymatous cells are usually present in the cortex. Now only we see, no, there chance is there for the presence of a parenchyma, or chance is there for the presence of cholenchyma, or chance is there for the presence of sclerenchyma. Now only we see, no, author giving clarity. So where we can see the presence of parenchymatous cells means, so parenchymatous cells are present or usually present in cortex, pericycle, pith and medullary rays. Next one, in the primary stems and roots also. Means once if you see this particular structure, no, so even though chance is there for the three different types of tissue systems, but for the presence of a parenchyma is most probably we can see the presence of a parenchymatous tissue. Why? Because cortex, pericycle, pith, medullary rays and primary roots. So definitely all kind of tissues or tissue systems are made up of parenchymatous. The next one, in leaves point of view, in leaves the ground tissue system consists of thin walled chloroplast containing cells are known as mesophyll cells. Means once you see in leaves where we can see the presence of tissue systems means, so we can see in a mesophyll tissue, or in leaves, no, ground tissue systems best example is mesophyll tissue. So mesophyll tissue, it consists of thin walled chloroplast. This is important point. Thin walled chloroplast cells or thin walled chloroplast cell organelles are present in few different types of or few specialized cells known as mesophyll tissue. In a leaf, so in a leaves, no, ground tissue systems best example is mesophyll tissue. Okay, now this is a small information related to the ground tissue system. So related to the ground tissue system, so what are the main important points to be discussed means, all tissues except epidermis and vascular bundles. This rendume varadu. One is epidermis and one more is vascular bundles. Except these two, remaining all tissues we can be saved or we can be taken under ground tissue systems. And in ground tissue systems, in a leaves point of view, mesophyll tissue we can be taken. Mesophyll tissues, and this particular mesophyll tissue is nothing but group of cells only, no. This group of cells consist of which one? Once you see at spotlight, so consist of thin walled chloroplast. Appadena thin walled chloroplast which are present in mesophyll tissue. This neat bit, that's why revising by one more time. Right, now third tissue system, let us see. That third tissue system name is vascular tissue system. In vascular tissue system, once you see that the vascular system consists of complex tissues. Complex tissues we know very well. One is xylem and one more is phloem. Isn't it? So that's why here the vascular tissue system or vascular system consists of complex tissues, xylem and one more is phloem. Next one, the xylem and phloem together constitute vascular bundles. So already with this point we have seen already. So thereby here the xylem and phloem members comes together. or together we are calling as vascular bundles. Vascular bundle is nothing but the combination of both xylem and phloem complex tissues. Next one, from here onwards important, listen carefully. In a dicot stem, where in a dicot stem cambium is present. Neat bit, try to save in your mind. In a dicot stem, cambium is present between the xylem and phloem. Between the xylem and phloem, we are observing now. Suppose if you take vascular bundle, there both xylem and phloem is present, and likewise we are studying now. So there between the xylem and phloem, one more tissue also is present. Adi yarana, once you see at spotlight, that is nothing but cambium. Means this in a dicot stem, cambium is present between the both xylem and phloem. Once you see here, down ikuvanga. So here if you see this particular diagram now, this is a vascular bundle. Inge upper outside no phloem is there, and ulle box chinna boxes are there no. This ellame we will be taking as xyla. Ipo pink color is there no, pink color and green color middle white color chinna line over a wall madre chinna like separating wall is there no. This yarana cambium. Exactly at spotlight you are observing only no. So here this particular tissue we will be taking. Tissue is nothing but a group of cells only no. So this particular tissue we will be taking as a cambium. Outside pink color is phloem and green color. So likewise we can be taken green color tissue we will be taking as xylem. Ipo paringla. So between the phloem and xylem, what is the tissue is present no? That particular tissue we will be taking as a cambium. Okay ma. So this particular thing we will be observing dicot stem. Okay. So next one. Now let us continue this one. Because of the presence of a cambium, possess the ability to form secondary xylem and secondary phloem tissues. This is very important point. So means when this particular cambium come down and you see at spotlight. So because of the presence of this cambium between the phloem and xylem, no, this particular cambium helps in the formation of secondary tissues, or it has the capability or it has the ability to form which one? Secondary xylem or secondary phloem tissues, where in secondary growth. In a secondary growth definitely I will explain but here, so here the xylem, secondary xylem and secondary phloem tissues are formed from the cambium when during secondary growth. So this particular point you try to remember. Cambium is there between the xylem and phloem. This particular cambium helps in producing of secondary xylem and secondary phloem during secondary growth. So now because of the presence of cambium between the both xylem and phloem, such kind of vascular bundles we will be calling as open type vascular bundles. Open type vascular bundles. Suppose between the phloem and xylem, suppose if we are observing the presence of cambium, so such kind of vascular bundles we will be taking as open type vascular bundles. Which one? Open type. One more time between the xylem and phloem, if we are observing the presence of cambium, so such kind of vascular bundles we will be calling as open type of vascular bundles. Next one, in monocotyledons, vascular bundles have no cambium. This is important point. In a dicotyledons, we are observing the presence of cambium. That's why we will be calling as open type of vascular bundles. Now one more next point you see there. In a monocotyledons, vascular bundles have no cambium present in them, or no cambium is present between the xylem and phloem. Hence they do not form secondary tissues, means secondary xylem and secondary tissues. So they refer to as closed. Once you see just to listen, in monocotyledons between the xylem and phloem, cambium is absent. So when cambium is absent, no, during secondary growth, secondary tissues, means what are those? Secondary xylem and secondary phloem formation, no chance. Why? Because there which one is absent? Cambium is absent. Suppose cambium irukana, chance is there for the producing of secondary xylem and secondary phloem during secondary growth. But here cambium is absent now, so thereby there is no chance to the development of secondary tissues. So such kind of vascular bundles we will be calling as closed type. Closed type. இப்போ final பண்ணிங்க. So what is the main important point? Suppose between the xylem and phloem, suppose cambium is there. Suppose if a cambium is present, that one is open type. Suppose between the xylem and phloem, suppose cambium is absent, that kind of vascular bundle is closed type. Next one, when xylem and phloem with vascular bundles are arranged in alternate manner along the different radii or radius. One more time. So when xylem and phloem within the vascular bundles are arranged in alternate manner. Alternate manner na eppadi irukku? Once you come on to the diagram, once you see there, idu xylem amma. இப்போ இது xylem and பக்கத்தில் யூஸ் தானே இது phloem. Xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem. Means arrangement how it will be like alternate, no? So this kind of alternate manner of or alternate arrangement of both xylem and phloem we can observe only in roots. Don't forget, in roots only this kind of arrangement of xylem and phloem we can observe. So this kind of arrangement of both or alternate arrangement of vascular bundles in roots we will be calling as radial type. Are you saving this point? So thereby here what is the point? Alternate arrangement of both xylem and phloem arrangement we will be calling as radial type. So this kind of arrangement we will observe in roots. Next one, in conjoint type of vascular bundles, the xylem and phloem are jointly situated along the same radius of vascular bundles. Once you come on to these two diagrams, so here phloem is there and here the xylem is there now. Now both are present on the same radius. Suppose if you put one line, no, so both will be covered. But here pakkathile diagram ke vaanga inge, but here suppose if you put one line, no, both will be covered, no chance. So that's why here this particular arrangement of vascular bundles we will be taking as radial type. We can see in roots. Next one, conjoint type. Conjoint, இப்போ ரெண்டுமே join together, இப்போ ஒரே லைன் இருக்குதுனா both are joined together, so such kind of vascular bundles. So here the both xylem and phloem are jointly situated along the same radius of vascular bundle, Now in conjoint vascular bundles usually have phloem located only on the outer side of the xylem. So means here this is a phloem now. If you take this one entirely as one vascular bundle, so phloem is situated all the time outside of the xylem. So means here the phloem is situated outside and the xylem is situated inside of the vascular bundles. So means here one more time, once you see there, what is the main important points or what are the main important points to be discussed? Ipo idi inge between the phloem and xylem we are observing the presence of cambium. That's why this one we will be calling as open type. Ipo left side diagram, middle diagram ke vaanga inge, ipo between the phloem and xylem we could not see the presence of cambium, no. So suppose if a cambium is absent, means what is the type we must call? Closed type. Between the phloem and xylem cambium is absent, so that's why that particular vascular bundles we will be calling as closed type vascular bundles. So such kind of a phenomenon only we will observe in monocots, and between the xylem and phloem we can observe the presence of cambium. That particular thing we will be calling as or where we will be taking, no, we will be taking in a dicots, and the type of vascular bundles is open type. Once you see there these 2-3 diagrams, we can see in roots, in roots no alternate arrangement. So xylem phloem likewise alternate manner we will be calling as a radial type of vascular bundles. Best example, roots. Here it is a closed type vascular bundle and it is open type vascular bundle. Closed type vascular bundle we will observe in monocotyledons, and open type vascular bundles we will observe in dicots. This is a short information or the small information regarding tissue systems. Tissue system there, epidermal tissue system, ground tissue system, and one more is vascular tissue system. So in the next class onwards, so definitely I will explain anatomy. Okay, so thank you and be safe at home.